Hi, it's Jolynn here, and I wanted to speak a little bit about recorders. I have used recorders in the music room in elementary music since I first started doing elementary music. I'm a flute player, an all-state, Texas all-stater, and as I went from being a band director to an elementary music teacher, I knew I wanted to incorporate some element of instrumental music as well. And so I began using the recorder in the classrooms. I tried a couple of other methods, but then I realized that being a Kodály teacher, I wanted to implement a new way of thinking about doing recorders, and that was learning the absolute pitch names, and like everyone does with the Every Good Boy Does Fine, FACE. But also when we got to B, A, and G, it was just as easy for the children to actually read the solfa. And so I started around that time doing my Kodály certification classes, and we had a project where we had to incorporate the Kodály method within some other means. And so I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to begin to work on a recorder book. And so through the years I've developed it, and a few years ago I self-published it, and several districts in Texas have used it, and individuals have bought it, and I wanted to share that with you real quickly. So this is my sing and play method. It is, you can purchase it, but I just wanted to share it with you real quickly. It has first couple pages, you can see all of the notes listed. Now, it starts out much like a beginning recorder book or a beginning band book. Same thing, it starts out with B and A, and then it has them reading it and has all of these lines. And then when we get to G, now it says we have a new practice procedure. And the new practice procedure is clapping and counting the rhythm, singing the line on the solfege names. So they should be very familiar at this time. Of course, when I start recorder is middle of 3rd grade. So they definitely have do, re, mi solid when they're singing, but this is extra practice. And then I begin to incorporate playing the recorder. So we sing the letter names after we sing the solfa, and then we play the lines, and then we sing the song. And all of the songs that I use as important songs in my Kodály teaching with the solfa teaching, I use in this book. So whatever method you're using, if the children can read the solfa along with the absolute pitch names, I think that would be great. That's bridging that gap between sort of the choral and the instrumental world, and showing the kids that it's all just reading music and it's all making beautiful music. Now, let me talk a little bit about how I deal with the logistics of it. So in my lesson for 3rd and 4th graders, I will play recorder every single time, but it's always at the end, towards the end of the lesson for me. A child comes in, they get the tote tray, so I have the recorders in a tote tray for each class that comes, and there's a child that is a recorder manager, and so they will take the tote tray down, and then they will pass out the recorders while we're doing our warm-up. I wanted to show you real quickly that I like to use this recorder. I found it has a very, very good tone, and it's not very expensive, so I think it's a good recorder that I use. But so we have a child passing them out. We're doing the rest of the lesson, and then I will towards the end say, okay, now get your recorders out. Now if we've been studying, let's say we're studying 16th notes, then the third graders will already have learned that in second grade the way I do with my curriculum. But the good thing is if you want to reinforce it, if they're having a difficult time with reading 16th notes, on the back, this is from my band days, on the back I have rhythm pages. So on the very back they look like this. And so the kids will get to read this on their BAG. I just say, okay, line 1, let's do the B on a letter B, and so we're off to the races. So that is a little bit of how I deal with that. The children take the recorders home very rarely. So for my school, they can purchase them. So they purchase a recorder, they bring the money for it, and then I do a mass order and get a really good deal, and then they bring the money to me, and then I write their name on the case, and it's here for them to play in class. When I am having a performance where the children will be playing the recorder or recorder song, then they will take them home with a piece of music that I've, have on a sheet of paper for them to practice at home. So that is one time when I let them take it home. Of course, when you let them take it home, it's hard for you to get them to bring it back. But I have many little tricks, I'm sure you all do, about, I hand out rewards and stuff to allow them to, when they are responsible, they get their reward. So that is how I do that. My sequence for recorder is B, A, G. Then I go to C. When I get to C, I do all of my So Me songs. So then they're singing those songs they sang back in first grade. I had some fourth graders beg me to play all the games that are there because they're all songs that they played when they were in first grade. And then I also have, when I go to C, when I change the key in the book to G, now I'm singing and practicing Fa, which for the fourth graders, it's perfect because I introduced Fa in fourth grade. So they will be singing Do, Re, Mi, Fa, and practicing that and then playing it on their recorders. Then I go to D, high D. So now they have Do, Re, Mi, Fa, So if I'm in the key of G. And I do a ton of songs with that. And so it just goes from there. So I also have this book, Projectable. So if you're interested at all in purchasing it, there is a Google site that I'll put the link to later on in this on my YouTube channel. Let's see. Then at the end of the year, of course, they take their recorders home. But I've had great success with the kids. They love the recorder. It is so valid for teaching them to read music. They sound good on it, and I enjoy teaching recorder, and they enjoy playing it.